Hi everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to another session of DogSpot Live. This is Musarat, and if some of you were expecting Karan, I'm sorry, he's not here. I'm just filling in for him. And today we have a very special guest with us. And anyone here from the dog show fraternity, he needs no introduction. But for everyone else, I'm going to do the courtesy of an introduction. We have Shharat Sharma here today. He's a 1989 batch civil service officer. He has spent his career in defense, finance management, and Ministry of Culture. He's always had dogs in his family since birth. His first KCI dog show was back in 1972. And in 1979, he started showing his dogs. He handled his dogs in the ring. And this is even before I was born. And that's saying something because it's such an illustrious journey and a career. Hello, Shharat Uncle. How are you? Good afternoon.
Shharat, thank you so much. I'm very well.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us the time. It's lovely to have you here.
My pleasure. Entirely anything for you and DogSpot.
Thank you so much. So, like I just mentioned, you've always had dogs, 1972, 1979. Can you tell us something what breeds you had back then? How did you get interested in dog shows?
It's a long story, but I'll try to lay it in a short thing. Way back in 1971, sometime in December, my father went to Mumbai on an official tour, and my sister was just 2.5 years old, and she asked for a dog.
Okay.
And he came back with a little basket, which had a little white Spitz in it.
Wow.
In those, he only got Labradors, German Shepherds, and Spitz. Few other breeds were known.
Okay.
Lhasas here or there. So that was how we got our first dog, and then it had a booklet and papers, and that's when I came to know there's something called the Kennel Club of India. We have registration and all that. So that's when.
Shharat Uncle, I'm just going to ask you to be a little louder because we have our viewers here. They're saying they can't hear you. It's not loud enough. So if you can come maybe closer to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's better. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Please continue.
That's how it started. It was a gift from my father way back in '72, and then I think he got bitten by the bug.
Okay, and so from there on, I believe you have a special spot for gun dogs.
Yes, I got my first, really pedigree dog way back in '79, and it happened to be a Labrador from
Okay.
a person very well known in the Labrador fraternity at that time. And we went to buy a puppy, and he said it was for 800 rupees, Musarat. Believe me, 1979, 800 rupees was a princely sum.
Okay.
And I said, no, sir, I don't have 800 rupees. I only have 450 rupees.
Okay.
So I was all of 14 years old. And he said, I'll give you the puppy for 450, but you have to pay me 50 rupees a month from your pocket money till you are able to pay the 800.
Wow. Okay.
So, it was counting pennies for the next 6 months till we had 50 rupees to pay. It was a lot of money, believe me. 50 rupees pocket money in 1979 was a good amount of money.
Yeah, and plus your pocket money you're spending on a puppy that you already have versus buying yourself treats or other things.
No, I just wanted a Labrador. That was the beginning and the end of the world for me. And I said, okay. So yeah, it was fascinating. I don't think I would encourage any children to spend pocket money on buying dogs now, but yeah, it was some sort of a passion.
And that says a lot because I don't know any kid who would do that. Just go and spend it on candy, and in my case, books. So.
Yeah, all we had was dogs and comics and books. We had nothing else. So yeah, I think it was money well spent. One thing led to the other.
And what dogs do you have now?
I have Musarrat at the moment. I have 10 dogs at home.
10?
Yes.
Wow.
I've got 4 boxers, 3 Pomeranians.
Okay.
2 golden retrievers, and a cocker spaniel.
Wow, that's a house full. So you must be very busy with them.
Yeah, the lockdown has helped.
For sure.
I don't work anymore, so I have all the time to spend with them.
Okay. Okay. They must be very happy to have you home all the time and taking care of them, loving all the attention.
But I know, Sarat, that you would understand this more than I tell people every time that if you talk of the human world,
Hmm.
your world, it includes your parents and your spouse and your children and your career and money and every worldly thing is part of our lives.
So
But
true.
look at it from their point of view. What is their world?
It's just
They have
us.
no politics, just
Yes.
us. That's
So
their
true.
love, that's their family, that is their entertainment, that is their joy, that is their sorrow. So if you're able to give time to them, that's all they want.
Oh, for sure. We have Saloni here. She's saying, can we ask Shharat sir to join from his iPad again? Would that be possible? I think for because of the audio.
Yeah, I can. If I can log in. I was trying from the iPad, but it didn't work. But I'll try again.
Just try again. And in the meanwhile, guys, today's session is about responsible pet ownership. As you just heard from Sharad Uncle, that he's had dogs all his life, going way back to 1972. And we are in 2020 today, so you can all benefit. I mean, including me, we can all benefit from his experience in handling dogs, being an FCI dog show judge. He's judged internationally. He's traveled the world. He's been to all these dog show, Crufts, Westminster, and a lot of shows in Australia that I know. So please, if you have
So
any questions, please, yes.
sorry to interrupt you, Musarrat, but you have to log out if I have to go back to the iPad. Do you really think that's worth it, or should I just be a little louder?
Okay, yeah, let's try it. Let's try it one more time.
Okay, so I'll log out and log in again.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, guys, so it's just me for a couple of seconds while he joins us back to help solve the audio issues, I guess. So, as I was saying, he's a great resource, great to get in your questions about different breeds, what would work best for your family, and also, how to pick the right breeder, adoption, all these options you can ask. Yamika, yes, I'll tell him to try with earphones. I know he's a bit. We couldn't hear him very well. Uh, Anasuya, I see your question. Let him come back. I'll ask him. And where's Muttley? Muttley is having a snooze fest. He'll now only wake up when it's time for his dinner. So till then, it's lights out for him. Dinkar Pratap Singh, hello, how are you? What questions are we supposed to ask? Anything you have about grooming, about pets, about how to raise the pets, how to manage pets in your household. If you have kids, how to integrate pets and kids together, how they should be treated. So you can ask any of these questions. We have a wealth of information here with Sharad Uncle. Hi, Sharad Uncle, welcome back.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, perfect. This is excellent.
Good.
Very clear. Very clear. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. So, we already have a question for you. Anasuya Paul Chaudhary wants to know, when did you get your first beagle?
I got my first beagle sometime in 1985.
85.
Yes, it was, Mukul and Anjali and me were the only 3 people in the north who cared about beagles, and we wanted to reintroduce the breed.
Okay.
And Mukul got a lovely dog from England, and I got a bitch from New Zealand, and that's how we started getting into beagles again.
Oh, so you pioneered the beagle into the country?
No, it was not a pioneering. It was just that the breed had died down.
Okay.
And very few were left either as pets or in the show game.
Okay.
And it's such a lovely breed. It's a beautiful size. And so we thought, yeah, it's easy to keep. And we got 2. So about 35 years ago, I think.
Okay, great. So I hope that answer your question, Anusuya. I mean, 35 years ago, having a beagle, I mean, that's incredible. And Shharat uncle, I wanted to ask you, since our session today is about responsible pet ownership, where do you think it starts? Where do you start being a responsible pet owner?
I have a simple formula, Musa.
Hmm.
Over the years, I've seen there are three kinds of people who have pets.
Okay.
One, the likes of you and me, who have a passion,
Yes.
who enjoy their company, who like to be with them.
Right.
The second lot is the one who get pets for their children during summer vacations.
True.
And
Sad as it is, yes.
very sad, but true. And the third and the even more condemnable part, if I may use the word, is the ones who want dogs as guard dogs to chain to the gate. Now, I'm sure this program is not about category 2 and 3.
Right.
Because they are not even pet owners, let's be very honest. They have no love lost. We keep pets because we find joy in them.
Right.
I come back from the office, you come back from work, and we are happy to be back with our pets.
Yes.
So that's responsible pet ownership will start from the very basic. Why do you want a pet?
Right.
It's not a showpiece.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a guard. It's a living. It's virtually a human being.
Yes. Yes.
So first thing, ask yourself, why am I adding a pet? It could be a dog, a cat, a guinea pig, a bird, fish, anything.
Anything. Yeah.
Yeah, but if responsibility starts with your basic intention of getting a pet,
Right.
get it if you feel like having one. If you feel that it give you joy. Don't turn around 3 months later and say, oh, too much of work and the maid servant hasn't fed the dog and the driver hasn't taken it for a walk. Don't get one.
Yes. Yeah, because for a lot of people, it's also just another thing they can buy, because you can buy a dog and it's, they just go and get an expensive dog and then the dog is chained to the gate, like you said, or, just being raised by the help and there's no emotional connection. And these are such emotional creatures, like, I don't know anyone who's more emotional than a dog.
Absolutely. Like I said, you are their world.
Right.
Every pain, every joy, every happiness that creature shares with you.
Yes.
And even more, it wants to please you.
Yes.
So why be unfair to a creature that's giving its entire life to you?
I mean it's so well said, it's making me so emotional just thinking, like people who mistreat their pets, like how can you do it, because that you're the whole world to that dog.
Absolutely. And thank God for the Supreme Court's ruling. Kudos to the Supreme Court for saying that, if you hit or if you're cruel to an animal, it's a punishable offense. Thank God for that.
Oh, very good. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, for the strays, they have come out with a ruling. Supreme Court says, be cruel to an animal, go behind the bars.
Very good. I think well deserved.
I mean,
just because they're easy targets, they want to you show, especially the poor stray dogs, you give a little bit of food and they'll come to anyone. So,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Again, you pick
So
up a small puppy at home, trusts you.
I think that is so crucial to ask yourself, why do you want a dog? Is it just something you want to spend money on? Because it's a long commitment. A dog can live up to 15, 16 years sometimes. The smaller ones even longer.
Absolutely. And responsible pet ownership means, number one, you know what you want it for. Number two, you must realize that it might not speak your language.
Right.
But it has all your senses. It has sight, it has sound, it has touch, it has a heart. It cries, it laughs. So I mean that, please understand that all these emotions you will have to adjust to.
Right. So true.
There are things your dog likes. It doesn't like the heat, so make sure it's not in the sun. It doesn't like too cold, so make sure it has a nice warm bedding under it. I mean, the basics of life
Yes.
you must accept.
Yes.
That is basic. It's like bringing a life into your family.
Yes, absolutely. It's another family member, right? So,
It's another family member.
yeah.
I've seen people treat their servants and their dogs alike. It's just
Both are wrong.
absolutely, it's most inhuman.
Yeah.
It's life.
Yes.
And
No,
so,
I think that's an excellent point, and we'll go to some of the viewer questions.
yeah.
Weasel actually saying if someone close to him needs a good dog, Shharat sir loves orchids. Okay, Yamika has a very good question here for you. She's saying, how important is it for people to research breeds before they get a dog, and how do they select the right breed?
Oh, good. Thank you, Yamika. That's something I would love to talk about.
Right.
Research, yes. Most of the breeds that are established and known as they are now, whether it's a beagle or a German shepherd or a Labrador, whatever,
Yes.
these breeds have been developed by humans by crossing different breeds and bringing certain traits and characteristics into one breed.
Okay.
So each breed, yes. So each breed has a specific temperament, a specific trainability, and your research is going to help you to understand what do you want. There are people who are very fond of elementary training of their dogs, that they can go for a walk without a leash. I don't support that, but there are people who take their dogs off the leash when they are out on
Yeah.
the road, simply to demonstrate that it's well trained and it will obey my command. There are other people who want just a nice companion in the house. So you research the breed according to what you want.
Right.
You want someone who can, adjust to your space, adjust to your daily routine.
Yeah.
Don't get a German Shepherd or a Doberman if you don't have an hour and a half or 2 hours a day to spend with the dog to
Yeah.
let him steam off.
True.
I mean, don't closet a Doberman because it's a working dog. It needs exercise. It needs to go out.
Yes.
Its mind is trained to explore.
Yes.
Get yourself a smaller dog. Easy for the mother or the lady in the house to take for a walk. So yes, and selection, apart from the criteria of space, the criteria of what you want, there's also the criteria of your liking. Within the same size, you might like a dog with very little hair, or you might like a dog with lots of hair.
Yeah.
Both have different aspects of care involved, but
Yeah.
your choice comes in.
Yeah.
And between retrievers, your own mother-in-law likes one and your father-in-law likes another. So yeah,
It's true.
yeah. So it's not difficult as long as you have your objective clear in
Right.
what exactly you want.
So I'll ask further on to this question. What do you recommend for like households where their kids and parents want to, like, okay, let's say they're all on board to get a dog, and it's a first time pet owner family. What breed would you recommend for a first time pet owner?
It depends on how much of space they have. If it's an apartment, they should probably get themselves something like a Cocker Spaniel.
Okay.
It's a gun dog, it's mild, it's loving, it's easy to train.
Right.
The only drawback that you have a lot of hair to maintain. Beagles are a lovely breed to have, but let me
Yeah.
say they are not most easy to train.
Okay.
They have a mind of their own, they are hounds, so they wander.
Hmm.
So it depends on the space. But yeah, beagles and cocker spaniels and all those breeds are good for a first family. And if you
Okay.
have larger space, a Labrador.
My favorites.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Sharad Uncle. I'm sure that's very helpful to our viewers who are tuned in. Dinkar Pratap Singh has a question for you. He's saying, which is your favorite small breed which is not high on grooming except for the beagle? How difficult is an English Cocker Spaniel to keep and groom?
Okay, Dinkar, my favorite small breed is a long coat Chihuahua.
Okay.
I I bred long coat Chihuahuas way back in 1990, and they are beautiful as pets. A little strong in the head,
Hmm.
but very nice size and very easy to keep. And
Okay.
as far as the English Cocker is concerned, it's very easy to keep an English Cocker. It'll die to please you.
Oh,
It'll absolutely die to please you. It's happy, it's wagging its tail, and it's a merry little creature. But got long ears. So
yes.
when it eats, the ears go inside the food. So
Okay.
you need snoots to keep the ear back. You need daily grooming. You need to keep the mat out of the hair. It does require a daily brushing
Right.
to have a lustrous Cocker Spaniel coat.
And they're so cute. I'll tell you a little anecdote. When I was a teenager, one of my friends, they got a Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah.
And we thought it was the most beautiful thing we ever saw. And so her parents said, "Oh, you kids want to name him." So we named him Clooney after George Clooney because we thought he was so
Uh-huh.
good.
Oh, that reminds me. My first Cocker Spaniel was a bitch, and she was called Jujubes.
Jujubes.
Yeah. Like soft Jujubes.
Yeah, that's cute. I hope that answers your question, Dinkar.
Dinkar himself has a very nice looking small breed, which he doesn't let out of his house. He's got Cavalier King Charles Spaniels,
Oh
beautiful
my
dogs.
god, those are adorable. I think they're like
Absolutely
so
adorable.
cute.
Yeah, beautiful eyes and very expressive, lovely dogs.
True. Yes, Weasel, I was about to cry, but I got myself under control. So, Anusuya is saying, sir, very sorry to say that now there is a group of people who keep dogs as a source of income. They're breeding just for business. Since you're talking about pet ownership, I mean, what she's saying is true. There are backyard breeders. So, what advice would you give? How to select a breeder if you're looking for a pet?
There are two aspects to Anaswa's question.
Hmm.
One, let's look at it purely from economics.
Right.
There are backyard breeders because there are people ready to buy inferior stuff without giving credit to quality breeding.
Hmm.
So we need to inform people of what a good, healthy puppy is.
Right.
The only way that you can cut the backyard breeders is by educating people about the quality of a well-bred puppy.
Right.
Two, the word breeder has unfortunately, somehow acquired a very negative connotation. I want to ask the world today through this forum, do we look down on stud farms or are we in awe of them?
True.
Stud farms are also breeding units.
Yes.
We never question their intention just because it's an expensive racehorse or a thoroughbred. We presume that stud farm breeding is ethical breeding.
Right.
We never question cattle, we never question goat farms, we never question poultry farms,
So
we never
true. Yeah.
question pig ties, we only question dog breeders. And that's because we are getting ourselves a pet. So let us tell ourselves these are the 10 principles which we must keep in mind before acquiring a pet.
Hmm.
And backyard breeders will finish. They won't be able to sustain themselves. Age of a puppy, Musarrat, for example.
Right.
Backyard breeders will palm off a puppy at 4 weeks or 5 weeks.
Oh,
Because
okay.
as soon as it starts to lap up, they want to get rid of it, get quick money.
Right.
They are not really worried about the health of the puppy or the health of the mother.
Hmm.
So the buyers must tell themselves nothing before 7 to 8 weeks,
Right.
nothing without a vaccine card,
Okay.
nothing, nothing if the nose has a discharge, if the eyes have a discharge, if the coat is stinking or smelling.
Okay.
I mean, these are self things we can check ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
And backyard breeders will not be able to sustain themselves. They'll be
Hmm.
forced either to improve
Of course.
or they'll
Of
just
course.
go out of business.
Yeah. If there's no demand, I mean, of course, why would they keep doing this, right? So, but like you said, I think there's a economics at play here. Like people like who care for dogs, and this is something I tell a lot of people if they're calling me to say, "Oh, can we get a puppy?" But we only want to spend this much. And that amount is sometimes under 10,000 rupees. And usually I say, if you're trying to save money here by going to a backyard breeder, once you get attached to the dog, if you are in love with your dog, you're going to end up spending that money on the vet costs, because that
Absolutely.
puppy is not going to be healthy. It's going to be constantly going to a vet. You're going to constantly have to pay up for that. So why don't you shell out for a good breeder? Or I mean, of course, I always suggest adoption as well. But I think, like you said, if there is no demand, there won't be any supply, and that's where people as have to step up and do the right thing.
We don't buy ordinary or third-rate stuff for our rations. We don't buy
Yes.
third-rate clothes. We don't buy third-rate shoes. We always look for good value for money.
Yes.
So why is it only that we have to acquire a pet from some, backyard breeder or someone who has no ethics?
Yes.
Might as well
So
not get a pet.
yeah. So true. And we touched upon this even when we had Gulpanag on our channel here on DogSpot. And
Yeah.
she also said this, she was like, a good breeder is essential to a dog breed for its further development, for its maintenance, to carry on that lineage. It's very important to have a good breeder who would
Absolutely.
continue that line. So
The word breeder should not be looked down upon.
true.
Backyard breeders who are unethical should
Hmm.
be looked down.
Yes.
I
100%
breed.
agree.
I'm not shy of saying it on a public forum. I
Yes.
breed. But by the time the puppy is 8 weeks old, it's got a certain size, a certain body weight. Its cards are ready, vaccinations are done, health check is done. So we are confident that we are now giving something which will have a healthy life if it's looked after well.
Right.
Nothing wrong with being a breeder.
No, absolutely not. It's just, like you said, there has to be this distinction between breeders and backyard breeders. And I think with your few tips, to look at like if a breeder is trying to pawn off its puppy really soon at 4 5 weeks, if there is a discharge, all these things, like, and if the puppy is smelling, don't get that puppy. Or if
Exactly.
yeah, or if somebody's giving you a dog for 2,000 rupees, of course it's just a puppy mill at the end of the day. Then
Or it could even be it could have been stolen.
yes, that too. Yes,
That's much worse.
so true.
So no, yeah.
Yeah. So talking about you being a breeder, Satish Dagar is asking, sir, when are you getting your next boxer mail? I think it's overdue.
I think it's overdue as well, Satish, but they are not so easy to get. And the law in India doesn't permit getting them anymore. So we have to be legal. And once, we get some relaxations from the government about getting a new dog, I'm sure we'll be able to find a good male. We are looking out for it, but not unless it's legal.
Yes. So Yamika is saying, would you say toy breeds would be most ideal as a first-time pet for anyone?
Unfortunately, Yamika, I would not say so.
Hmm.
Toy breeds, and a few of them particularly, the Chihuahua, for example, they have a mind of their own. There
Okay.
have been instances where the Chihuahua can be little snappy.
Oh.
Other toy breeds, for example, the Pekingese,
Hmm.
or something like Pomeranian, which is generally a toy breed, but not in the FCI, it's in another group, or the pug, they require a lot of care, a lot of
Right.
care.
Right.
So, for a first time pet owner, get yourself a dog that has a strong digestive system, that's trainable, that doesn't require too much of grooming. Beagles have excellent digestion. They are not coated, they don't require too much grooming. Likewise for Labradors. But other breeds, be a little careful as a first time pet owner because trainability becomes an issue. You want your first experience to be a good experience,
Yes.
particularly with children around.
Right.
So get friendly dogs that are bred to be friendly. Don't get dogs that are bred to, work or be a guard at a butcher because their instincts are different from the ones that you are looking for.
Yes. I think those are some very good points here. And we have your friend here. She's asking you a question. She's also my mother-in-law, so I can't ignore this question. She's saying, "What's your favorite breed, Shharat, and what is your dream dog?"
Ah, Anjali, hello. My favorite breed is something I had many years ago and I'm longing to get another one. My favorite breed is the Irish Setter.
I knew it.
And my dream dog is the day that, Mukul and you are sitting in the gallery and I'm handling my Irish Setter to the best in show at Crufts.
That's a nice dream. Did you have Irish setters at some point earlier?
I had many, Musarat. I had many. I got some from the US and some from Australia.
Okay.
And I wish I didn't have them at that time. I had them now because now I have the time to groom them. They require a lot of care,
Right.
but they are a wonderful and beautiful breed. Very royal.
Okay. All right. And so we have some, Anand is here. He's saying, "Hi, sir. Very glad to have had guidance from you for my Dutch Shepherds." And Weasel is saying, "Oh, I love long coat Chihuahua."
Yeah.
And Samta has a question, and you have this breed. So, how about a boxer as a family pet?
Hi, Samta. Boxers are great as family pets. They are a happy dog, and because they are docked, it's such a joyous scene when they wag their tails. They turn their entire body because it sort of forms an arch, and it's so comic, but it's so joyful. No, they are easy to keep. I've had a boxer in my bedroom for 6 years now, and it's an absolute joy. You have a boxer yourself, so it's a good question, Samta. And yeah, they're easy to keep. I think it's a good family pet.
Good family pet. Uh, okay, we have two questions about Chihuahua, and they're kind of same. So I'm just going to say, are Chihuahua dogs safe to keep with small kids, as they're said to be a bit snappy? Is that true? And same about Chihuahua is when are Chihuahuas good for a small apartment?
Chihuahuas are very good for small apartment. They are a little frisky and they prance around the whole day. But yes, it's true that they can get a little snappy. When you look at a dog, the formula is very simple. Look at the dog and imagine how he is seeing the world. So when you step into a Chihuahua shoes, you are a giant.
Okay, yeah.
And every gesture, every movement of the human body is looked at with suspicion.
Oh, okay.
Because you're so big for them.
Yes.
They are lion-hearted dogs, but you see the threat perception. And they are wild dogs from Mexico, so yes, they can get a little snappy. I would not personally recommend Chihuahuas where there are very small babies around, because
Okay.
they'll poke their finger or they'll pull their ear and it will become a problem.
Right. Okay, we have a question from Prashant. He's saying, what's your view on commercial dog foods available in India?
Well, I think it's a God's blessing that we have commercial dog food available in India. When we started, there was no dog food available. It used to
Really?
be no, nothing at all.
Wow.
We had someone cooking 50 chapatis, or we had a big bowl of rice to be made, and we had to stand in the queue to get. If you were rich, you could afford mutton or chicken, and if you were not, you had to go to Nizamuddin in Delhi to buy beef, which is buffalo meat, not
Yes.
before I'm misquoted on DogSpot. It's buffalo meat.
Yes.
Yes. No, there was no dog food. So I think it's a blessing. A dog food is a well-balanced food, provided you buy the right manufacturer.
Right.
And it's easy to feed. It's easy to store. It doesn't need too many supplements. So in my personal opinion, dog food availability, it's a blessing. And the only problem is they're too expensive in India.
Yes.
Because of import duties.
Yeah. So Sarthak wants to know, do French bulldogs naturally have short tails or breeders cut them off when they are born? I'm a big fan of French bulldogs, planning to get one more.
No. There is no question of cutting them off. There are certain breeds that have been, they are bred by humans to come in a certain form. So the English bulldogs, similar to the French bulldogs, no, we don't tuck their tails. And again, like the pug, be very careful of the weather. They can't stand too much of heat because of the way their nasal cavity is structured. And so I think you should get yourself why one? Get two.
I think he's planning to get one more, so he does have one.
Yeah, so get two more. It's a lovely breed.
Thank you for that. Anjali Vaid is saying, oh, I want to see them. Dinkar Pratap saying, yes, me too. We would like to see your King Charles Spaniels. And
we have had the good fortune of seeing them when we drove up to Dinkar's house. And
okay.
He has some.
Wow. Sumant is here. Shharat uncle. Hi, Sumant. Shharat sir, would you prefer home cooked food or packaged dog food for your show dogs?
No, if my home cooked food, I can achieve the same balance as a commercial dog food, yes, I would go in for home cooked food. But achieving the same balance is the problem, because Sumant, I don't know if you have seen the dog food that DogSpot has launched. The advantage is it's dehydrated. So in a 500-gram package, the amount of calorie that you are getting is much more than your home cooked food, because yours is not dehydrated.
Right.
So your meat, chicken and rice still has a lot of water content.
Yeah.
And the number of dogs that we keep, we need a lot of domestic help to be able to cook so much of home food.
Yeah.
But the packaged dog keeps a dog in dry condition. You know what we call in the dog show, there's a term called dry condition, where there's no flab.
Okay.
It's good muscle tone. The dog's been exercised. So to achieve that tone, commercial dog food is helpful.
Okay.
Home cooked food gives a little flab.
Yeah. Sumant, if you're interested in home food, DogSpot also had a couple of pet nutritionists. You can go back and see their sessions, and they tell you how to cook a balanced home food meal, which is very tough, to considering dogs' needs are different than ours. So you can check out those videos if you're interested in learning more about home cooked dog food. Um, Adnan has a question. He's saying, Sir, I have a question. Why is it that working breeds are totally different in dog shows as opposed to dog sports? Aren't working dogs qualified by their workability first before their aesthetic value?
Oh, very nice question. It comes from your passion and your training, Adnan. Why they are different? I'll give you a very simple answer. Dog shows are confirmation shows, and presentation and showmanship plays a lot of role in dog shows. In the working breeds, what the German Shepherd, the Rottweiler, the Doberman associations have been able to achieve, and even the gun dog associations, the hunting associations, what they've been able to achieve is they have retained the instincts. They have retained the hunting instinct, they have retained the guarding instinct, they have retained the bite power,
Yes.
which is essential for the working field rather than the show field. The show field has a standard, and it's the judging of a silhouette.
Okay.
So there's a two-page standard which we judges first read, then understand, and then that understanding is sort of juxtaposed on the specimen that comes in front of us. So when we give 2 minutes to the dog, we are only seeing the confirmation. Does he have the structure and the condition to perform the duty that he is supposed to perform? We don't do the mind test.
Right.
The only mind test we do is from expression. The working field does the mind test. When they're training the German Shepherd, they'll shoot the gun. They'll see the dog's reaction to the sound. The Labrador's reaction to the gunshot before it goes to retrieve. So that is the reason why there's this distinction now coming in between the show dog and the working dog.
Right.
And about the second part of the question, yes, working dogs are qualified by their workability. You will find in many countries we have dual champions. So that's a field trial champion and a show champion.
Right. Okay.
In the Rottweilers and German Shepherds, the real dogs that are subject to the training for work don't even participate in the show dogs.
Right.
Although in German Shepherds, if you are to be judged under the SV criteria, then you must qualify for the bite, for the temperament, for the eyesight, for the hip score. That is required in the working.
Okay. I hope that answers your question, Adnan. I learned a lot right now. So thank you for asking that. Tarunpreet Singh has a question. He's saying, do you think show dogs lose their joints and muscle tone when kept indoors on marble tile floors? What about their attitude? Is it not better to keep them kennelled on rough floors and secluded to retain their fire?
Okay. Hello, Tarun. Thank you. There are 3 or 4 parts to your question. I'll go with the first one first. Any dog, forget show dogs, any dog that is permanently kept on marbled or tiled floors with no exercise will lose its joint and muscle tone. And why dogs? Any animal, including human beings. So yes, they will. Short answer is they must get adequate exercise and dry ground, preferably lawns or mud floors, to keep their intestines in shape and their muscle tone in shape. Then the second one, attitude. Attitude, surprisingly, is not entirely genetic. I mean, it is genetic, but it doesn't mean that every specimen from that lineage will have the same attitude. It is something that puppies are born with.
Right.
You either have it or you don't have it. We've had thousands of dogs that were beautiful in the picture, in silhouette, but didn't want to work, didn't want to show. They much rather sit on a sofa and enjoy a movie. Attitude is something that is different in each dog,
Yeah.
just like human. I don't agree that it is essential to keep show dogs in a kennel or secluded. Fire is an attitude. When I speak to you, I have my best in shows winning boxer with me. He sleeps on my bed. There is no shortage of attitude.
Yeah.
I've had, the best German Shepherds I've seen, the best Dobermans who have been home dogs, and I've had beautiful show attitude.
Yes.
So I disagree with the last part that they should be kennelled. Rough surface is good for them. It's good for their pads. It's good for their muscles. Give them rough surface, but don't seclude them.
Yeah.
Because,
Again,
and let me tell you, show dogs are also pets.
yes.
Your question is about show dogs who are possessions. So that doesn't, gel with me. Show dogs are not possessions. Show dogs are your pets. That they are nice enough to be shown and will win is an advantage. If they are not, they are still your pets.
So true, so true. And to this, I think mom had asked a question, and I'm going to put it up because it's in line with what he's saying. She's saying, "What advice would you give a pet owner who would be interested to show their dogs?"
Price is such a difficult question. If I get someone, I was only, like I told you, I was 14 years old when I got my first show dog. My advice is, do you have the time? Do you have the strength of heart to suffer a defeat? If you are going to go to a show, lose, and then hit your dog,
Oh
don't
my
go to a
God.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this, Anjali is asking this question because she and me have seen this happening at shows. A poor dog, he doesn't want to come to the show. It's you who want to bring it.
Yes.
Then it loses and they have hit the dog inside the showground. So if that is your attitude, please don't go to the show.
Yeah.
I started showing in 79. I got my first best in show in 98.
Oh my God. Wow.
First best in show in 98. So don't go to a show if you want to only win. Go to a show if you feel passion for a breed.
Yeah.
You want to see beautiful dogs. You want to see the atmosphere. And you want to learn from your competitor. Then go to a dog show. Otherwise, forget it.
Yeah.
It's
I
not a
think that.
trophy hunting.
Yeah. I think that's a very, very important point. Again, to even if you like to go to shows and have a show dog, but important to treat them as pets because, I mean, show is like maybe how many shows are you going to go in a year, and rest of the 365 days, what is your dog doing?
And not
So,
only that, your dog will go for a show for 1 year
yeah.
or 2 years.
Oh, okay, yes.
From the prime age of, let's say, 2.5 or 3 years till the age of 4.5 or 5 years.
Hmm.
And it's still with you after 5 years till the age of 15. Then what do you propose to do with it?
Yes.
So no, don't go to a dog show if you can't lose.
Yeah. That's a very, very good point, Sharath uncle. Thank you for that. So Yamika says, Mr. Sharath, which is your favorite Indian dog breed?
Oh, that's a good question, Yamika. I was fortunate enough to judge an Indian breed speciality show in Coimbatore last year.
Oh, wow.
There were
Okay.
all six Indian breeds were represented, and there were over 150 of them.
Wow.
And if I have to take a pick of my favorite Indian breed, I was mighty impressed by the Kanni.
Okay.
It is something, it was a revelation. It's a beautiful dog, and if we can get a good one, yes. The Rampur Hound is a beautiful hound. Unfortunately, we have not adhered to the standards, but a good Rampur Hound, absolutely beautiful.
I'm going to look up the other dog that you said. I've never seen it. Kani, you said.
Well, you should. Kanni is very nice, Musarraf. It's a
Okay.
revelation.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to look that one up. Sudipta, I think, has a very good question. As importing of dogs are banned, how can one continue breeding with the limited gene pool?
Oh, Sudip, thank you so much. It's nice to see you in this forum. We are all facing that problem,
Yeah.
particularly you and me who are in the show game. Yes, limited gene pool has been a problem. Our kennel blindness has added to that problem. We have beautiful dogs in German Shepherds, but we have big egos, so we don't go to the rivals to use the right dog.
Yeah.
Likewise for Dobermans, likewise for Labradors. Till such time that this restriction is on, we should do two things. One, through the Kennel Club of India, we should impress upon the government to allow us to import frozen semen. That is a system that is followed all over the world.
Right.
You can't keep importing dogs.
Yeah.
We should set up a, artificial insemination facility,
Okay.
and through the Kennel Club of India, impress the government to allow us to get frozen semen. And second, which is very easy to do, is shed your egos and use the dog regardless of its owner. Use the dog because the dog can give you something. The owner might not be able to give you anything. Use the dog. We have these egos and we don't use right dogs because either it belongs to our, competitor or whatever.
Yeah.
So these two things, if we do, we should be able to get out of this situation of the limited gene pool.
I think you think like that because your love for the dog and for the breed is above everything else. To you, that is most important versus just getting a litter of puppies out, like we were discussing earlier about responsible breeders.
Absolutely. No, sometimes I think this is 1990 or maybe 88 or I don't remember. Sometimes then. So I'm talking 30 or 32 years ago.
Okay.
Before you moved into the Vaid family, many, many years before that, I happened to go to Mr. and Mrs. Vaid's house in Greater Kailash.
Okay.
And there was this lovely Labrador bitch. They had two. And I said, I would like to have one of these Labradors. And they said, yes, fine. So I bred that bitch. I didn't pay Mukul and Anjali anything. They just simply gave me the bitch. We used the nice dog because we wanted to see what that combination will give us.
Right.
So go to your people, go to the friends, expand your world and get good specimens inside. I mean, there's no loss of ego in it.
Right. Yamika has another question for you. She's saying Indian dogs love their freedom and it is one of their innate traits. Can the Indian Pariah dog thrive in an apartment setting?
No, Indian breeds, the 6 recognized breeds are all hounds. Hounds are basically wanderers.
Right.
Whether it's a beagle or a basset or an Indian hound or an Afghan hound or a whippet, they are basically wanderers. We have been able to beautifully domesticate the whippet. Why can't we beautifully domesticate the Rajapalyam or the Kanni or the Caravan or the Rampur? We can.
Right.
It will take a firm hand because they are a little aloof. They like their own space. But if you give them a little time, you will be
Yeah.
able to domesticate it to an apartment setting. Don't get the bigger ones. Get the smaller variety.
And Yamika, if you're talking about the indie breed, which is the right way of saying the stray dogs that we refer to that you bring home, I have seen a lot of them turn into couch potatoes, so I don't think they have any problem adjusting to an apartment. Dogs will adjust to you and your lifestyle like nothing else will. So
As far as the Pariah, the poor fellow has had a miserable life outside.
yeah,
It's getting security, it's getting love and attention, it's getting comfortable living space. I'm sure
yeah.
it'll adjust very well.
Yeah, they do. They do. I've seen it. A lot of my friends have them, and they're big couch potatoes. They have big personalities. Great dogs to have as well. Cherian is saying hi, Cherian. How about Yorkshire Terriers?
Beautiful temperaments, Cherian. Hello. Beautiful temperaments, very nice pets, but who's going to maintain the coat? Cherian is a grooming expert, award-winning groomer, but Yorkshire Terriers are very difficult to groom.
Yeah,
So, and for a pet family, again, you're talking of increasing expenses, going to, you know, what are these parlors? It's a beautiful breed, but it's not easy to maintain. And a Yorkshire without a beautiful glossy coat hanging to the ground, there's no point really.
okay. Saloni wants to know, what do you love the most about Irish setters?
Oh, I love their eyes, I love their heads, I love their color, I love their temperaments, I love their mischievousness. There's nothing I don't love about Irish Setters. I love every bit of them.
And Arjun is saying, "Sir, what is the perfect food for our present climatic condition? Forget show dogs." I think he's saying, as a breeder, you prefer dry food or holistic food? Sincerely, Arjun.
Hi, Arjun. Um, as I said, the perfect food depends on two things. One, it depends on whether you're able to achieve the balance between the protein, the carbs, and the minerals and the supplements. Two, and I'm sorry I keep repeating this, affordability is a major issue.
Yeah,
If we are talking of show homes, that's a different ball game. The pet parent is a different ball game. So, show dogs, yes, you need complete food. To keep them dry, you might have to give them good quality dog food. Holistic is a word that has come into play now with, competing dog food firms advertising different aspects of their food,
yeah,
which is fair enough. Now, what is holistic is? Holistic is that it has everything.
yeah,
And that's what I'm saying. It should be balanced. So, whatever food your show dog should be in optimum weight, optimum muscle tone, and I've seen many show dogs achieve this with home cooked food.
yeah.
So it depends on the breed. You don't need too much of muscle tone on a pug. So it depends.
Yeah. Sandeep is asking about your favorite breed. Sandeep, we've discussed this in detail, so I'm not going to go there.
My,
Cherian, I think it's a very good question.
my
Sorry.
favorite breed is behind me in the painting.
Yeah, I can see two of them.
Yeah.
Cherian is saying, what kind of support and guidance should a puppy buyer expect from a good breeder?
Okay. First, the breeder should be honest enough to say whether the breed is suitable for the buyer. Don't just agree to give a puppy because you've got a buyer at hand.
Right.
Explain to the buyer you've got two children who are 3 and 5, so a Dalmatian is not good for you. So first thing, be honest and tell the buyer about the qualities of your breed. Two,
Tell the buyer what he should expect when your pup grows up. It's very easy for me to say, I have bred the best golden retriever. This will turn out to be the absolute best dog in the world.
Yeah.
Dishonest. Tell the breeder that my golden retrievers are cream and they are the European type, or they are deep golden and they are the American type. My Cocker Spaniels might be a little smaller than the others you have seen. The tails on my Labradors are not what you are expecting. Be honest about what you are giving. The third thing, and most important, tell them what is the health history of your dog.
Right.
Is it, has it suffered in the past as a puppy? Have the parents had any history of illness? Is there something congenital that can be expected? So bring out the health aspect of your line. Be honest about it.
Right.
And most importantly, give an exercise chart, a food chart, environment chart, if I can use the word.
Okay.
What kind of temperature, what kind of bedding.
Right.
What kind of crate training. What kind of veterinary attention, vaccine schedule.
Yes.
These are the various aspects.
Yeah. I think that's a very well-rounded answer, Shharat uncle. I mean, my own dog is a rescue, and I had to just wing everything. And I mean, just listening to you, if all these tools would have been available to me, it would have been like 100 times easier to raise him.
I am saying this because we've learned the hard way. They were not available to us also.
Yeah, but when you know better, you should do better. I'm a big believer in that. So now if we know that these are things that make life easy, then we should be doing it, definitely. So mom is asking, how are Dachshunds as family pets?
I've had a few, Anjali, and I've not had a problem with any of them, barring one, and that male was a little snappy.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, they are good for houses which are a single story.
Okay.
I've had terrible stories about Dachshunds in duplex houses because of their structure and their long spine. It's not recommended that they go up and down steps very often.
Yes.
So people with living on high-rise buildings and taking stairs or living in a duplex, I would not recommend them to have a Dachshund or jumping onto sofas and beds. But that apart, easy to clean, easy to feed. They bark a little, yes. They can yap a little, but otherwise I haven't had a problem.
Okay. And I think they're big-hearted too. Like there is a Dachshund that wants to take on Pasha every day during his walk.
This dwarfism in dogs, Dachshunds and Bassets and some of the that's man-made.
Acha, okay.
Yeah, so it's a particular gene pool which leads to dwarfism.
Okay.
The entire leg structure is different.
Yeah.
So they have no problem with their head and heart. They're lion-hearted.
For sure. There's a video, if somebody wants to see of Dachshunds chasing away a grizzly bear online. If you just say Dachshund grizzly bear, you can see that video. I mean, that dog is not scared, like not one bit. And the bear runs away, like incredible.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it today.
Yeah. Weasel is saying, someone once told me Dachshunds are like whiskey. You have to get used to it, and then it's an addiction.
I agree.
Oh, Jaskirat is here. Hi, Jaskirat.
Or is it soda?
What is the soda?
No, I'm asking, is it whiskey on the rocks or is it with soda?
Might have. I think soda would be another dog with the Dachshund. Oh, hi, Jaskirat. And he's saying, hi, sir and Musarrat. When are you getting yourself a GSD? I think it's for you because I have one from him.
No, I have been planning for a long time, Jaskira, to get myself a GST, but I'm getting age is catching up, and GSTs need a lot of time, a lot of physical exercise, and with both my sons now busy in their own lives, I think it's a little late in the day to get a GST. I think I've missed the bus.
Oh, I don't think
I,
so
re-
though.
I really do think that, I don't, maybe if Jaskirat keeps pushing me every few days to get a GST. So yeah, I would love to get one. Probably a long coat which I don't have to show.
Okay, we have Prasant here who's saying, Shharat sir, could you please explain to us about risk, pros and cons in importing dogs nowadays? It's bad.
That's a easy question, Prasad. Risk is too mild a word. It's illegal.
Yeah,
So risk is to go to jail. It's very simple. It's simply illegal. If
yeah,
you are importing a dog, you are actually smuggling a dog.
yeah.
There is no legal way that you can get it. The only legal way you can get it is through transfer of residence. If someone has been living abroad for more than 2 years, and this particular dog has been a pet with that person for more than 6 months before moving,
Yeah,
then you can legally get it as a pet.
right.
Otherwise, it's simply illegal. Pros and cons depend entirely on how much of, if you are willing to stay in jail and then come back and start looking after the dog again, fine. But I would advise anybody to import a dog at this point in time. I mean, it's illegal.
Yeah, yeah. Simple as that. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Okay. Adnan is saying his Belgian Malinois is a dual title dog, KCI champion as well as PSA champion. I think he's this is with the earlier conversation about working dogs and show dogs. Wow,
Yes.
Adnan, to see pictures, please.
Adnan has some beautiful Belgian Malinois, and yes, it's possible to have dual champion in India. You can have an obedience champion as well as a show champion.
Right. Amazing. Dinka Pratap Singh has a good question. What low maintenance dog breed would you recommend in the medium to large breed, except for the boxer, who can be quite an energetic breed, demanding a lot of exercise plus a bit destructive, as mine used to chew up my TV remote?
You want to have your cake and eat it too. Medium, large breed will always be energetic. I mean, you don't want a dirt dog. You don't want a statue.
Yeah.
So you get a Labrador, it will be energetic, Boxer energetic, Dalmatian energetic, Golden Retriever energetic. So you can't have a medium to large dog that doesn't have energy.
Yeah.
You can probably look at a bloodhound if you can get a good quality one, but then they'll howl like most hounds do.
Yeah.
That'll have low energy, but it'll howl. So I can't find you a breed which is medium to large but has no energy. And just keep your remote higher, Dinka. Just hide it in your hip pocket.
I mean, I don't know any pet owner who's not lost something to chewing when the dog is teething. No matter how many toys you have, they'll catch a hold of that one slipper, one something. One is, I mean, minimum. Something has to go.
How many curios does a little baby break when it's growing up?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
How many glasses and saucers and cups and plates do little babies break? They do.
Yeah.
It's the same with your dog.
Yeah.
Only till a certain age. Once they are trained and they've found their space and their routine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they're not doing it on purpose. They're not saying we don't want you to watch TV, so we're going to go after your remote. It's just puppies.
And they probably get off the couch and come and play with me.
Yeah. It's a good thing. No TV, more play. Okay, Sujit has a question on caring for senior dogs. People tend to abandon their pets when they become less mobile and few health issues. Sujit, we did a whole session with Dr. Rana, in fact, this week only about caring for senior dogs and not abandoning them. So please, if you have any questions, I mean, a lot of concerns were addressed there. Otherwise, you can write to us, and next time when we have a vet on, we can definitely bring that up. Arjun has, that's a long question. Why young people are not getting an opportunity to judge in the shows in India? Actually, I have seen so many young people are getting licensed to judge abroad. You are a very senior person in our dog game and himself an honorable judge and life member of KCI. So please say something about this matter if possible.
I am not going to comment on the Kennel Club of India policy. It's a well thought out policy, and they must be having justifiable reasons for what they have. Having said that, and I know Arjun personally and his passion for dogs, so I understand where this question is coming from.
Okay.
But honestly, Arjun, how many of your kind are actually there in the game anymore? You know, I talk about Mukul, Anjali, Rajiv, Javender, Preetham, myself. Whoever started as a youngster
Right.
and pursued it became a judge. The Kennel Club of India is only screening to see whoever is good enough and can hold that responsibility.
Right.
I mean, all the judges that we have now, Musarrat, we've known each other for 35 to 40 years because we were little youngsters when we started.
Right.
If I look around today, there are very few people who are willing to run the long race, if I may say so.
Yes.
They want to learn quickly, win quickly. Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And the young judges which you're talking about abroad, Arjun, are from countries where the game is very new. You won't find any new young judges in England,
Yes.
in Australia,
Yeah.
in the US, in Germany, in France, because the processes are still very long. You will find young judges in younger countries as far as the dog game is concerned. You'll find young judges in China.
Yes.
But China came to the dog show game only 10 years ago. So they need new judges. They need to set up the game. That is why you have judges there.
You know, I'll add to this little bit with my very limited knowledge. It's only, Karan did a project on dog shows, as you know. And that's when I found out that KCI was set up in 1800 something by the British in India. It's a very old organization.
1896.
Wow, there you go. So I mean, it's really, really old. India is not young to the dog show game, so to say. So
Yeah, I mean, like,
a long time.
yeah, it's like 2022, 2
Yeah.
years from now, 50 years since I've been in it.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, it's a long time.
Yeah. Okay, so Sumant is saying amazing session, Shharat uncle, very well anchored, Musarrat, good initiative, DogSpot. Thank you, Sumant, for your kind words.
Thank you. Give my regards to your father.
He was here on the other session other day with Dr. Rana. He got a nice diagnosis out of him. So
Oh, good.
we have Radha Krishnan here. He's saying, how can knowledge transfer happen between tenured and new breed fanciers so the baton of the breed be passed on?
Good question. Two things, Radhakrishnan, two things to my mind. One, you need willingness at both ends. Willingness of the teacher and willingness of the pupil.
Right.
Willingness in terms of not only listening to your seniors, but also reading.
Okay.
You know, it's very easy to say that I know the anatomy of a dog. It's not so easy to actually know it. So if you have to pass it on to the future generation, you must pick individuals who are willing to read. There's no better way to acquire knowledge than to read. Read the standards, read anatomy, read physiology, read movement. That's the only way.
Wow.
And second, appoint breed, what do you call it? Patrons. Or breed supervisors. It could be anybody. It might not be a judge, but there's X individual who's very good in Lhasa absence.
Right.
Use him as a mentor. Get lectures. Get people who are interested to attend. Get local breed clubs or breed fanciers to sponsor such things. Hold breed seminars. I mean, we know when we were young and we used to go to dog shows, there would be people who would talk of one breed for hours and hours and hours. And we would sit and listen.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman, may his soul rest in peace. I still consider him to be the godfather as far as the dog game in India is concerned. Nawab Nazir Yar Jung, who passed away. And Mukul and Anjali would, bear me out. He would spend 3 hours discussing the head of an English pointer. 2 hours discussing the brisket. So you need someone who's willing to tell you. Sometimes we are try to explain to an exhibitor, this part of your dog, he's not interested to know. He just turn around and walk away.
Oh.
So, yeah, because he feels I've lost, and so, why should I listen to this judge? He knows nothing. Because he's put my dog down. And he doesn't understand that you have to learn where you went wrong.
Right.
Losing is as much a part of the game as winning. As a matter of fact, losing is more part of the game.
Yeah. Because you learn more when you lose. And especially if you want to improve, right? You say what went wrong, how can I do better? I mean, if you're going to have a sour attitude about it, then of course there's no learning curve there. But
absolutely. I asked the people, I said, you get 200 dogs in the dog show. 8 win. That means 192 lose.
Right.
Still the next dog show you get 200.
Yeah.
Because those people are willing to come back and try again.
Yes.
So it's this courage to learn, to lose, to try again. That is what we need if we have to pass on this knowledge to the future generation. Otherwise, it's a loss, it's a dead end.
True. I think that's very well answered also, Shharat uncle. Sarthak is saying, loving the talk, so informative. Thank you so much for your time. Wanted to know what are the legalities, registrations one should follow while owning a pet so the dog is completely secure secure from selfish humans. For example, proof of ownership, insurance against bites of attacks, violence against dogs.
But Sarthak, proof of ownership is something that you have available only in dogs which are registered with Kennel Club of India. Unfortunately, in India, sale of dogs is not, under a contract. Most countries abroad, even if you buy a pet, it's under a contract.
Right.
Unfortunately, not here. So, proof of ownership is only in terms of the Kennel Club of India certification. Now, with the new regulations that have come in, the municipal corporation regulations, you have to get your dog registered with the local municipality.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we still don't have the system of a tattoo or a chip to identify the dog. So that's the missing link between the dog and the actual proof of ownership. Insurance, yes. Insurance is available for all domestic pets. And it's very, very minimally priced. The premiums are very low, so you should go in for it. there is no insurance available against the dog attacking you. I mean, there isn't. It's a hazard you have to live with.
Yeah.
Or a dog attacking your dog, you can sue the owner and you can fight a court case, but there's no insurance, to my mind. I may be wrong,
Yeah.
but there's no insurance against being attacked by a dog.
So, okay. Ajay Batra is saying, hi, NCR climate is getting difficult for my golden. Heat, dust, and humidity causing a lot of skin infection. Any suggestions to cope up with this monster?
Well, Ajay has had golden retrievers for a long time, and I've known him now for nearly 15 years. Yes, Ajay, it's a problem we are facing with our goldens also. Yes, it is a problem. The only thing that we are doing is spraying with cool water before brushing every day.
Right.
And we've increased the frequency of the bath to between 5 and 7 days. And once the dog goes out and comes back, dip the feet in sort of a disinfectant. And yeah, so that it doesn't bring in any ticks and fleas.
Right.
That's it. I mean, nothing other than daily grooming. And we've cut down the time outside to about 20 to 25 minutes when it's not hot or dusty.
Okay.
Otherwise, all sorts of exercise inside, but no, there's no other solution to my mind.
Okay. Thank you for answering that, Shharat Uncle. I'm just, guys, it's been quite long. We've taken a lot of his time, so I'm just going to go through the questions and see which ones are kind of not touched at all. And Deepak has a question about feeding. Deepak, you can go to DogSpot's previous videos. We've had pet nutritionists come on and you can watch their shows. And wait, let's see if there is anything else. Okay, somebody has a question about the GSD puppy. I'm going to put that up. He has a GSD puppy just 5 days old, and for first 2 days she was eating properly, and suddenly she's not having proper food for last 2 days. Is it natural for summer or something to take to vet immediately?
5 days?
No, the pup is 48 days old. I put an add-on question. Pup is 48 days old and he got it home 5 days ago.
Okay, two possibilities, please. And this is not veterinary advice. This is an advice from my experience. Two possibilities. First, check if you've changed the diet from what it was having at the breeder's house to your house.
Right.
Two, make sure that you are not overfeeding.
Yeah.
This is a problem with most pet owners. Overfeeding will cause more problems than underfeeding, particularly in the summers.
Right.
And if it is not yet got any upset stomach or vomiting, then I think you're okay. Just give it some diet. But the first sign of any fever or any vomiting or any upset stomach, please go to a veterinary doctor.
Okay. Thank you, Shharat Uncle, for answering that. Guys, we have a lot of questions about dog shows here, and I understand that because he's a very renowned judge. But we were trying to focus on pet ownership today, so maybe we'll do another session about the dog shows in India and have Shharat Uncle come back and talk about that specifically. So I don't want to take any more of your time, Shharat Uncle. Thank you so much for joining us and giving such great answers. We had a lot of questions and I couldn't take all of them. Sorry, guys. But I think really we've gone for an hour and a half, so I think I should stop now. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
And thank you, Musarrat. And marshmallow and walnut ice cream on me once the lockdown opens.
Definitely. I'll be there. See you then.
Oh, take care. God
Bye.
bless.
Bye.